just a bit more bagpipes. Don't know if you're into it. Probably not. I am. Sorry. So yeah. So this is well. First, let me demonstrate. You can switch it on, which is something you can't do with real bagpipes. Sounds pretty much like a bagpipe. So yeah, this is an interaction box, sends these numbers to indicate where I am, where I'm hovering, which cylinder, and each one represents a note. So they all send, in the end, they just trigger one of these get blocks there, which sends a MIDI note value, like 60 is C, 62 is D, and so on, into this MIDI to frequency converter that produces or just sends the frequency in hertz. And that goes into all of these oscillators. So this is a chanter, and it produces mainly a triangle wave. That sounds quite like a reed instrument. So it has this sort of sharp quality of a reed instrument. And on top of that, I'm layering a square wave, which, I've just tried out. So, splits up here and produces these two, and then they add together. I can change the phase of this a little bit. I've also put in a pink noise generator, which adds a little bit of this breathiness, bit of noise, which I think sounds quite realistic. And so that's your chanter, and then I have volume control on off switch, and this is the drone. So the drone doesn't take different values for the notes, it just plays the same note, so the bass note C all the time. And then again, this is split up into two drones basically. So bagpipes with two drones. One has the triangle wave again, one square, but here I've got a multiplier in there as well, which multiplies the frequency that's coming through here. Everything that's coming through here, through these cables here, is not actually audio. This is just a frequency. I'm not quite sure why the MIDI to frequency block actually puts out a stream rather than jolt. To my mind, should be a jolt, but whatever. It's just a frequency. So we're doubling the frequency. That means we're playing the octave here. And again, I can change the phase, and all of that is added up to the sound. So we have the chanter and the drone combined, and that's played. And then I've been experimenting a little bit with something to make it sound more realistic. So real bagpipes are never quite perfect. Obviously, they're not. So, you have to hold that air pressure in the bag, and it's never quite perfect. There's always some fluctuations. And in fact, that's actually part of the character of the instrument. So I've simulated that here. So I have a very low frequency sine wave at the moment set to almost 3 oscillations per second, 3 hertz, a very low frequency. And the way I've set this up with this multiplier that I can change and an addition, that results in essentially the whole thing sending a 1 or something very close to 1. So you see, we're not multiplying it by much. So, the maximum here is a 1, so this goes from +1 to -1, and then times 0.03, so it's a very small value that we're adding to 1. So basically the fluctuation here, the sine wave, is very close to 1, yeah, which we then multiply with the frequency to change the frequency slightly up and down with this, with this sort of frequency here. Yeah, it goes slightly up and down. That's sort of the imperfection. And I can change that and make it very pronounced. That's a vibrato. That's too much. Yeah, so I can change frequency, something like that. That sounds more realistic. Yeah, and then so I can change this breathiness, this you know the pink noise. That's too much, clearly too much. So put less of that. And change the phase. Yeah. So yeah, it's quite a lot you can do with that, and it's just fun to just combine these things. So I found out it's basically just put an oscillator in, give it a frequency, then put another oscillator in, and experiment with that. Experiment with the shapes. Experiment with perhaps modulating the frequency a little bit. Now this is bagpipes, so they will just play constant note. If it was something like percussion instrument or I don't know piano or whatever lead, you would want a sort of envelope, so it has an attack and a decay and all that. This doesn't have it. It just plays one sound throughout, which is what I found attractive in sort of trying out how sound synthesis actually works, because I've never really done something like this. So yeah, I'd recommend playing with that. Have fun. I'm making the world public under the name Bagpipes. Simple to find. Okay, bye.